and safe. Stay home, stay safe. It is a very critical situation outside. So what you are doing, I am doing the same thing. And today's our math section is the new chapter that is called statistics. The new chapter that is called statistics. The introduction of the statistics I will give you now. Before starting this chapter, I want to say you something that this chapter is the very important chapter for the exam point of view. So this chapter has a lot of things to do, and today let's start this chapter, the introduction part. Now you see in the introduction I gave you some synopsis here. Some synopsis are given to you. What is that synopsis? See now, bit 1 I gave you. The word statistics seems to form the Latin word status. The word statistics, the statistics word that came from the Latin word, that is the Latin word. See, this is the Latin word called as status. Latin word status, or the Italian word stata. From the Italian word it is stata. In Italy it was stata on that time, and in Latin it is status, and or the Greek word statistic. Statistic. The Greek word is statistic. So in various countries, the name of the statistics is different. So from in Latin word it is called as status, or in the Italian it is called as stata, and in the Greek it was called as statistic, which means a political state. It is a state, political state. The name of the political state in Latin it was status, and in Italian it is stata, and in Greek it was statistic. I hope you understood it. Now come to the next part. The next part is Roman number 2. See now, this is the mathematician Sir Ronald Fisher. Sir Ronald Fisher, 1819, 18th century to 19th century, that is 1890 to 1962, is the pioneer in development of new theories of statistics. He is the pioneer. He was the most advanced. Pioneer means advanced. In development of new theories, he was developing new theories for statistics on that from 18th century to 19th century. And these theories of statistics, new theories of statistics, was developed by Sir Ronald Fisher. Sir Ronald Fisher. So I hope you understood this point also. Now come to the definition of the statistics. Look, the statistics definition is definitely, you have to know what is the actual meaning of statistics. The branch of mathematics, it is a branch of mathematics which deals with collection, classification and the interpretation. Collection, classification and interpretation of data. This is the most important word to remember. Data is called as statistics. That means a branch of mathematics, I am explaining you nicely, a branch of mathematics which deals with collection. You are collecting some information. What you are collecting? Collecting some observations. What are you observing? You are collecting that. And classification. You are classifying them according to their systematic orders. You are classifying them. And interpretation. You are just interpreting them. You are putting them in order. That is called as a data. It is defined, otherwise called as statistics. So what is statistics? It is a branch of mathematics which deals with collection. You are collecting things, then you are going for classification, you are classifying it and interpreting it. That is, interpreting of what? Interpreting of data is called as statistics. I hope you understood what is the definition of statistics. That means you are collecting something, you are classifying them, and also you are interpreting them as a data is called as statistics. For example, here for better explanation I am giving an example to you. Many of you already went to a railway station. So a railway station, when you was going to a railway station, you see there are a lot of collection of observations. Drinking water, the luggage room, the ticket counter, the inquiry, and there are some stalls, there are some benches to sit, and there is a platform. So these are all called as the observation of a person. That is collection of observation. Then you are classifying them according to your need, and after that you are interpreting in a data, and you are putting them like drinking water will be in one, it will be one, then the luggage room it will be on the 6th, and on the you are interpreting those observations in systematical order, which that branch of mathematics is called as statistics. Another example, very good example of your classroom. See now in your classroom, the attendance register is maintained. Why? Because to know everybody according to their roll numbers. Some roll numbers are given to you according to your name. So alphabetically you are arranging it, and when the teacher is calling your roll number, you are just getting you are responding to towards your teacher. And also that is a what collection of observation, that is the names, and classifying them, classifying according to their alphabetical order. And after that you are interpreting, and that means you are systematically writing as a data in your attendance register. That branch of mathematics is called as statistics. So statistical data or statistics is giving you definitely a exact information about a data. When a data was prepared, after that you are getting a exact information from that data. Now another example I am asking you. I want to ask you a question to you. Can you say me, where are you in India? In India, where are you? So if you are going on giving addresses, I am in Visakhapatnam, I am in Visakhapatnam, some local areas, then come to that. So this is having no meaning at all. But if you are going to an Aadhaar card, Indian government has given you an Aadhaar card, and in that Aadhaar card, a particular number was mentioned for you. If you are just clicking on that number, then compulsory all the paragraphs of yours is coming. That means it is easy to know you among this 130 billion people. So Indian government has already maintained a statistical data through an Aadhaar card. So that is also called as the what? The statistical data or the statistics. So here I hope you understood what is statistics. It is a collection of observations. Now Indian government is collecting observations. That means among the age groups, 50 above, then 60 above, then the 40 above, then the 30 above, 20 above, like that. They are already classifying them. After they are getting their observation, they are already classifying them and interpreting them in their numbers. That is called Aadhaar numbers, and easy to find. So that is a very good example of a statistics. So statistics can help you with billions also. So with the billion data, in the billion data also, we can take exact information from that billion data through statistics. So what is statistics? It is a collection, it is a classification of the collection, means collection of observations, and it is the classification. Among them you are classifying it, and after that your interpretation. That means you are interpreting that of the data is called as statistics. I hope you understood. This statistics is coming from the Latin, that is status, and from Italian it is stata, and the Greek this is called statistic, which means a political state. The mathematician involved in it, that is Sir Ronald Fisher, 1890 to 1962, 18th century to 19th century. He gave new theories about this statistics. Now I am explaining you about the most important point, that is called data. What is data? Data is an observation. I said. So what is data? Data is always called as an observation. It is observation. What you are observing, you are putting in data. You are writing in. Then it is also of two types. The data is of two types. If it is a raw data, and it is an arranged data or systematic data or statistical data. If it is a raw data means the informations or the observations are not in order. So here and there the observations are there. Then it is called as a raw data. Clear? Now arranged data, again when you are classifying the observations according to their serials, then that data is called as arranged data or systematical data or statistical data. Then the statistical data or arranged data again divided into two parts. It is a ungrouped data and it is a grouped data. Now I am explaining about this ungrouped data and grouped data by examples. Now you see the ungrouped data. I said you, now I will explain you the ungrouped data and the grouped data. You see what is data means? The observations. The list of the observations is called as a data. If it is in systematic manner, it is called as a systematic data or statistical data. Now I am taking a statistical data for you. That means the list observations are systematically arranged, and it is again divided into two parts. One is called the on-group data, and another is called as the grouped data. See now what is this on-group data? In this on-group data you see what I wrote here. See here marks are obtained. So marks of a class is given to you. Marks are like this: 10, 20, 36, 40, 40, 50, 56, 60, 70, 72, 80, 88, 92, 95. So these marks are listed here like a data. Okay, and this is the number of students. In this column the number of students are there. So 10 marks came to one student, 20 marks came to one student. So this is called as the frequency. What is this called as? Frequency. That means that this observation is occurring once. This observation is occurring once. This observation is occurring thrice. This is occurring 4 times. This is occurring 2 times. So this is called as the repeated number of observations. That can be called as frequency. I will give you all the synopsis after that. Try to understand the on-group data. So now here you see the data are is written here, has written here in single numbers, that is 10, 20, 36, 40 up to 95. And how many students occurring getting what type of mark it is given here. So this type of data which is called as the on-grouped data. So this is called as the observation column. Observation means here it is observation can be called as xi. What is that? Small xi. The observation can be called as small xi. This is called observation. This is called observation. Clear? So observation here is the marks of the class. That is 10 marks to one student, 20 marks to one student, 36 to one student, and this is the number of times these marks are coming. How many times these marks are coming? That is in this column. So this is called as the frequency column. So this is called as the observation column or xi column. What is this? Xi, small x or I, observation column, and frequency column can be written as fi. What is this fi into xi? You have to multiply 10 ones are 10, 10 20 ones are 20. I will explain it later. But now I hope you understood what is on-group data. That means the observations are single, not grouped. But here you see a group data. What is given here? See, there it is observation column is there. So here direct observation is there, single observations are there. But here observations are grouped. The observations are grouped. So what you did? Now you took 10 to 25 marks. How many students got it? So 10 to 25 you group it. So what is your gap here? 25 minus 10, that is 15. So you take 15 students as one group. 15 students here are one group. So interval is in 15. So 10 after 25, that is 15 gap. Then 25 after 40, that is 15 gap. Then 40 after 55, 15 gap. 55 after 70, 15 gap. So that gap is remaining same, and you are getting from 10 to 100. That means 10 to 100 marks you already wrote, but you wrote it in a group by giving a systematic gap. That is called as 15. If you are giving gap, then here the observation directly you cannot say this is my observation. Now like this column, you are saying my observation is 10 here. Here you cannot say my observation is 10 because it is grouped. So here you have to write here class interval. What you have to write? Class interval or CI. From this class interval, you are going to find out the observation. You are going to find out the observation single. So what is this called as? Here is a group you see. So in this group, this is called as the lower boundary. This is called as the lower boundary. Okay. So this is called as the lower boundary, and this is called as the upper boundary. What is this called as? Upper boundary. Clear? I will explain it, all the things. So it is called as lower. It is called as upper. Again, the upper is continuing here and giving you the gap to 15, and it is 40. 40 again continuing here, and it plus 15 is 55. Like that, it is going on up to 100. And this group has this mark 10 to 25 marks secured by 2 numbers. So it is FI column, no problem. But you cannot get here XI column. XI column is not there. You have to find the observation. It is the CI column. See, class interval column this is. So to find out the XI column, what you have to do? You have to again write a XI column, and you have to find out the. That means this is called as class mark. This is called as class mark. M-A-R-K. I will explain you after that class mark. But now you just understand how the observation is coming. Class mark is the average of the 2 class. That means here is a lower boundary and here is upper boundary. When you add these two and divide by 2, this class mark or observation column will come for this one. So it is what? 25 plus 10, 35 by 2. That is 35 by 2. That is equal to 17.5 is called as your xi column. So first observation is 17.5. Clear? Understood now? And here it is the frequency column. I hope you understood what is called as group data and what is called as on-group data. In on-group data, the observations are single. So it is directly xi can be available here. So no problem, you can multiply with xi and fi. But here in group data, the xi column, the observation column is not there. So the ci column, class interval, because you are taking some intervals, so the interval columns will be here, and interval, the left hand side is called as the lower boundary and the right hand side is called as the upper boundary, and the frequency for that it is written here. And when you are getting the observation, you are adding these two and dividing it by 2 to get the observation column. Now you can proceed here for fi xi. That is 17.5 into 2, that is 35. Here it is 10 into 1, 10. I hope you understood it better. You understood the class interval and how from the class interval you can get a class mark. That is what is that called as class mark. Okay. So class mark is the average of the two boundaries. That is the upper boundary plus lower boundary by 2. That is giving you the, in on group data, this is called as the observation column. So this is the CI column. But in the group data, on group data, directly observation columns are given to you. So no need to go for anything. I hope you understood it. Now the synopsis number 6. What is the synopsis number 6? That is called frequency. This is a very, very important definition. Please try to understand it nicely. What is frequency? In a data, the number of repeated observation is called as frequency. So here I want to give an example to you. Everybody saw level crossing. Level crossing means where the train is passing away and we are staying in the both sides of that level crossing train track. So after some time the train is coming and you are just switch on your watch for 1 minute. In 1 minute, what you are observing? You are observing the wagons are just passing one by one. After 1 minute, that means 60 seconds, you saw how many wagons are passing. Now you will see that in 60 seconds, suppose 60 seconds, 30 wagons are passing. So now you see in 1 second, half of the wagon is passing through you. So in 1 second, after 1 second, you are just going on the repeated observation of half wagons. So that is called as the repeated number of observations. Suppose 1 minute you are looking 30 wagons. In 1 minute it is passing. So in 1 minute 30 wagons means one after one wagon is passing in 1 minute. So what is your observation? Your observation is the wagon. So what is the total number of observation? That is the frequency. That is called as the frequency. That means in a data, the number of repeated observation, how many times it was the observation is repeating, that is called as the frequency of a data. Now you come to the 7th synopsis, that is called frequency distribution table. This frequency in a data, the number of repeated observation is called as frequency. Now you see frequency distribution table. You are going to maintain this frequency on a table. Now, but that means according to your observation, you are looking how many times that observation occurring in the table. That is called as a frequency distribution table. The table is showing the class interval along with the corresponding class frequencies. Class interval along with the corresponding class frequencies. Class interval along with the corresponding class frequencies. So now you see here two types of table I draw for you. See now, this is a ungroup data. The observation is single. So here the class interval is single one. So the observation you can take directly, that is xi. So for 10, suppose it is the observation for the class marks of some students in the class. So now 10 marks obtained by 1. So here the observation is 10 and the repeated number is only 1. One time it is repeating. So one fellow got 10 marks. So now 20 marks is the observation repeated for 3 times. So frequency is 3. Now this is, we can call it as a frequency of a fi column. Understood now? What is frequency? The repeated number of observation for the corresponding class interval. What is the class interval? This is on group class interval. This is a group class interval I again showed. I will say you now. You try to understand from grouped to ungrouped frequency distribution table. This table is called as the frequency distribution table. So here the observation is there, and how many times it is, here it is there, it is there. When you are writing this type of table with the observation and the frequency, that is called as a frequency distribution table. I hope you understood. Now come to this one. This is a group data. The class interval is grouped here. So there is no direct observation. So your group is there, 10 to 25. That means a 15 group is there for you. 10 to 25. That means a 15 group is there for you. Here it is the 15 group. 15. So 10 to 25. How many numbers got it in the class? 3 numbers they got. The repeated observation from 10 to 25 is 3 times a day you can observe it. So this is called as the frequency here. Frequency here. And due to here the observation is grouped. So direct observation, to get the direct observation, I said you have to add it. That means you have to find the class mark. You are adding these two numbers and dividing it by 2. And that is 25 plus 10. 35 by 2, it is 17.5. Here I got my direct observation and my frequency is there. Now I produced 2 tables for you. One is for grouped observation, ungrouped observation, and another is for grouped observation. So this type of observation table where the class intervals are there and also how many times, that means the frequency is there. So these 2 observations when you are looking, they are called as the frequency. These tables are called as the frequency distribution table. I hope you understood what is called as frequency distribution table. The next is, now come to the synopsis number 8. So these, what are these synopsis? These are the statistical, when you are doing statistics, these are the statistical words involved in statistics. So we have to know each word clearly. Then only it will be easy for us to do the next coming sums. Okay, now you see what is that range. What is range? Range is the difference between the greatest and the smallest values of variable in a distribution. The greatest and the difference, that is the difference between the greatest and the smallest values of variable. Clear? So now I did a table for you. See, this is a frequency distribution table where I not wrote the frequencies, but I wrote the class interval. It is a ungrouped data. So look, I took it from 1 to 100. So my list is from 1 to 100. So what should be my range? My range should be see now the smallest one is 1 and the greatest one is 100. So what is the range said? Range is defined the difference between the greatest and the smallest values of variable in a distribution. So what is my greatest value? Greatest value is 100. So 100 minus what is my smallest value? Smallest value is 1. So 100 minus 1 is 99. So what is this range of this data? The range of this data is 99. Very easy to understand. Now come to the next, the 9th point. That is called class mark. What is the class mark? Generally, class mark is for the group data. Generally, we are using class mark for the group data. See now, here it is written, the formula for that. That is upper boundary plus lower boundary by 2 is called as the class mark. See now, my CI is in group now, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, like it is grouped. So how I am putting my class mark? The class mark is giving you observation here. In group data, there is no direct observation. So to get the direct observation of xi, we are going to find the class mark. What is that class mark? Class mark can be said as the upper boundary plus the lower boundary by 2. What is that? Upper boundary, I said you, this is my LM, this is my lower boundary, and this is my upper boundary. So upper boundary is 20, 20 plus 10, 20 plus 10 by 2, that is 15. So this is my class mark of this data. So I hope you understood this range and class mark. This will only come in short questions, so try to get it nicely. I hope you understood it. Here is the next synopsis for you, that is called as the synopsis number 10. That is measure of central tendency, VVI. Very, very important. Try to remember it. Measure of central tendency. Measure of central tendency of what? Of a given data. Look at it. I already also referred to as measures of central location. That means we are going to find the central location, middlemost location. That is called as measure of central tendency. Is a summary measure that attempts to describe a whole set of data, a data is totally given to you, whole set of data with a single value, means you are going to find out a single value. What is that value? That value must resemble to the central tendency, that means the middlemost value. A single value you are going to determine from a set of data, whole set of data with a single value represents the middle or central value. What that single value will represent? That single value will represent the middle or central value. It will represent the middle or the central value. That means a whole data will be given to you. On that whole data, what you are going to find it out? You have to find out the middlemost value. Middlemost value, it will be a single value, and that is giving you the middlemost value or the central value in the distribution. Distribution is frequency distribution table. That is called a statistical distribution. That means statistical data. I hope you understood this. So that is called as the measure of central tendency. Measurement of the central tendency value. That is a single value which you are going to attempt from a set of data, and you are finding out its central value or middlemost value in the distribution. Next comes to, there are three main measures of central tendency. Three main measures of central tendency in statistics. In statistics, there are three main measures of the central value. Three process is giving you the central value. That there are three main measures of the central tendency. Central tendency, three main measures are there. Measure steps are there. We are following them and we are getting the central value. That is called as, the first one is called as the mode, the MOD, the mode. The second one is called as the median, and the third one is called as the mean. The mean, the mode and the median. Mean, mode and median. These three are the measures of central tendency. In this process, we can go to measure the central value also. Each of these mean, mode, median measures describe a different indication of typical or central value. In three different measures or typical value, we are going to find out. What is saying? In each of these measures describe a different indication of the typical or central value. Typical or central value is different in three types of measures. So in mode, some process will be there. In median, some process will be there, and also in the mean. Mean means the average, that the process will be different to find out the central value of a given statistical data. That is written here. Each of these measures describe a different indication of the typical or central value. It is typical or central value in the distribution chart. So finally, what is that? That is measure of central tendency. It is a measure of the middlemost value. Middlemost value, also referred as the measure of central location. You are going to point out the center or the middlemost. Is a summary measure that attempts to describe a whole set of data with a single value. With a single value from the whole set of data, we are getting a single value for the measure of the central tendency and in the distribution chart. So there are three types of main measures of central tendency. To measure the central tendency, there are three types of measures in statistics. One is called as the mean, another is called as the mode, and another called as the median. The three process will be, I will explain you these three process in my three different videos. Don't worry, but in these three process, we are going to find out some, the indication of typical or central values. Some typical and central values are coming by the measure of these three processes. By measure of these three processes in a distribution chart, we are going to find out the measure of central tendency in a typical or a central value. So I hope you understood what is called by measure of central tendency. So above all, the measure of central tendency is depending on three procedures of statistics. What are the three procedures? One is called as the mean, another is called as the mode, and another called as the median. So mean, mode, median are the three procedures processes which by using that processes we are going to get the measure of the central tendency from a frequency distribution table. I hope you understood it. Now come to the first process for to measure the central tendency. The first process for that is called as the arithmetic mean. Try to understand it nicely. It is over in 9th class. Again you are doing it, so it will be easy for you to understand if you will follow it. For arithmetic mean for ungrouped and grouped data. I hope right now you understood what do you mean by ungrouped data. Ungrouped data where the observations are directly given, and a group data the observations are with some group, that means 10 to 20 like that, 10 group, it is a 10 gap. So ungrouped data the directly observations will be given 10, 20, 30 like this, and group data it will be 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. I hope you understood. And from these two data we are going to find out the arithmetic mean now. How to find out? See. So first point I wrote here, see, is arithmetic mean. Arithmetic mean is called as the sum of the observations by the number of the observations. It is the general formula for arithmetic mean. Mean means the average. Suppose my weight is 30 kg and your weight is 40 kg. Then what is the average of both the weight? It is 30 plus 40 by 2, that is 70 by 2 is equal to 35 kg. That is the average or mean weight of you and me. So like that, here it is given, see, arithmetic mean, it is sum of the observations. There are a lot of observations. The sum of the observations with the number of observations. How many numbers of observations are there? Total number of observations. You can write here number of observations place, you can write a total number of observation also you can write, no problem. Clear? Now you see I am explaining it, see, in the bit point number 2 I explained it. Let x1, x2 and up to xn, x1, x2 up to xn be the observation with respective frequencies. Among the x1 the frequency is written, among x2 the frequency is written, among x3 the frequency is written, like that up to xn the frequencies are given to you. That means it is a frequency distribution table. So with what respective frequencies? For x1 the frequency is f1, for x2 f2, for xn there is fn. Then the mean of the data will be, what should be the mean of the data? The mean of the data, that x mean, how the mean is represented, see, it is coming in the exam sometimes also, how to represent the mean. So the mean of the data, that is what x dash, we can say it x dash, we can say it x dash. So this is the mean of the data is equal to f1 into x1 plus f2 into x2 plus fn into xn whole by f1 plus f2 plus fn. That means sum of the observations by total number of observations. So this, sometimes this is called as the sigma. Sigma means sum. Sigma means, this sign is called as sigma. What is this sign called as? This is called as sigma. Clear? Sigma fi into xi. Sigma, the summation of fi into xi. From fi xi to the summation up to fn xn is called as sigma fi xi whole by the from f1 to fn, the sum is called as sigma fi. That means sum of the observations by total number of observations. I hope you understood it. Now one point I wrote in red here, you see, this method of finding the mean is called as the direct method. So in the exam we are going to observe for this arithmetic mean, we can determine the mean in 3 methods. One is, first method is done for you, that is called as the direct method. This is the direct method. Clear? Understood? So what is the direct method? The sigma fi xi by sigma fi, or we can say the arithmetic mean is equal to sum of the observations by total number of observations. So this is the direct method we can adopt for calculating the arithmetic mean. For grouped or ungrouped, both datas, we can. I will do the sum for it. Don't worry. So try to understand it. What is the mean? I said you the arithmetic mean is the average or the central tendency measure process. There is a one process to measure the central tendency. That is called as arithmetic mean. Mean means average. I just right now I gave an example that find the mean of our weight. My weight is 30 kg and your weight is 40 kg. Then what will be the mean weight of the both? That is 30 plus 40 by 2, that is 70 by 2, that is 35. 35 is the central, that means the central middlemost value for 30 and 40. Similarly, so mean means the average to find out the central value. It is one of the process to find the measure of the central tendency. Just in last point number 9, I discussed about it. Now you see, it can be for the group data and also for the on-group data. So the formula is sum of the observations by the total number of observations. So here, if x1, x2, xn up to xn is the called observations, and f1, f2, up to fn is called as the frequencies, respective frequencies, then the x mean, x bar, that is called x mean, is equal to f1 into x1 plus f2 into x2 plus up to dot dot fn into xn by f1 plus f2 of dot 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 fn. That means sum from f1 x1 to fn xn can be represented by sigma. Sigma of the first is f1 x1. That is, this symbol is called as the sigma, and which is sigma means the sum. Sigma means the sum of this whole total. So it is sum of the observations by the total number of observations. That means sum of fi, sigma of fi. So this method of finding the mean is called as direct method. Again I am saying direct method. So what is the formula for the mean in direct method? The formula in the mean for direct method is sigma fi xi by sigma fi. I hope you understood it. Let's do a sum for it. Now come to solve some sums by direct method. I said you right now direct method, arithmetic mean for ungrouped and grouped data by direct method. I am applying here the direct method. I am writing here direct method. Clear? So now you see, I am solving the sum by direct method. See, I took some two questions here. I took two questions here by which it will be I will explain by the two questions by which it will be very simple for you to understand. Now you see, calculate the mean for the following distribution table. There is a distribution table here, and also calculate the mean for the following distribution table. When the question is like that, first of all you have to know whether the distribution table is a ungrouped data or a group data. You have to first know whether the distribution table is a ungrouped data or a group data. See now, here my distribution table is ungrouped. That means single data, ungrouped data. So that class interval here is directly giving my observation. My observation is directly given. The xi column, see, xi column is directly given due to it is a ungrouped data. So it is what? It is a marks of some students, and some students are here. These are in my frequency, 10 marks by 5 students. I said you, so this is the frequency, 20 marks by 6 students. So this is the frequency also, and 30 marks by 8 students, and 40 marks by 2 students, 50 by 4 students. So this is my frequency column, and this is my observation column. Observation of what? Marks. And this is the repeated numbers by the students. So now you 5 students here, 10 marks, 6 students, 20 marks, 8 students, 30 marks, 2 students, 40 marks, 4 students, 50 marks they got. Then what I say to you, I have to use the direct method formula to go for the mean. So what is the direct method formula? It is sigma fi xi by sigma fi. So I got my xi column, I got my fi column, but I not got still yet my fi into xi column. So I am going for fi into xi. So multiply 10 5s are 50, 26 are 120, 38 are 240, 42 are 80, 54 are 200. So my fi xi column is ready now. Now what I have to do according to the formula, I have to go for sum of the fi xi, sigma of fi xi. That means you have to add this all. When I add this all, it comes 690. Now you see what is the sigma fi. Now you add all the frequencies, it is giving you sigma fi. Understand very carefully. Now it is 25. So what is the formula? The x mean is equal to sigma fi xi by sigma fi. Sigma fi xi by sigma fi. So what is sigma fi xi? Sigma fi xi is your, what is sigma fi xi? It is coming your 690. 690. And what is sigma fi here? 25. When you are dividing, it is getting 27.6 as the mean of this frequency table. So this is what? This is a ungrouped data. This is a ungrouped data. Come to the group data. This type of sums when you are doing, please be careful when you are finding out the mean. Very easy. Here Ci. What is Ci column? It is class interval. It is the marks 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. So it is in interval on 10. So 10-10 interval is there. So grouping in within 10. So what to do? Here XI observation column is not there. Like this, you are getting observation column directly. Here the observation XI column is not there. You have to find out how. I said you class mark. Lower boundary plus upper boundary by 2. 20 plus 10 by 2, that is 15. Then what is your gap? 10. Add 10 and go for to complete the thing. It will come right. Don't worry. 15 plus 10, 25 plus 10, 35 plus 10, 45. So this is your what? XI column. What is this? This is otherwise called as your observation column. Now this is frequency column. It is ready. 10 to 25 5 numbers. So now add these two, add these all, and you get the summation of the frequencies. That is 20. Sum of the observations. Now what you have to do? The formula is sigma Fi Xi. So you have to go for Fi Xi. So right now understood. Xi is not there. So Xi you have to find it out. Then you multiply Fi and Xi. Then 15 5 is 75, 25 6 is 150, 35 8 is 280, 45 1 is 45. Then add it to get the sigma Fi Xi. What is coming? 550. Now you see what is the formula? The formula is sigma Fi Xi by sigma Fi. What is the formula? Sigma Fi Xi. See now, sigma Fi Xi. See, this is the formula. Sigma Fi Xi by sigma Fi. So what is sigma Fi Xi coming? 550 by sigma Fi is 20. 0 cut. So 55 by 2. It is giving you 27.5. So I hope in group, this is the group data and this is the ungrouped data. In how you are finding out the mean by putting the direct method. What is the method? That is sigma Fi Xi by sigma Fi. Sum of the observations by total number of observations. I hope it is very clear for you to get the mean, arithmetic mean by direct method. Now the next phase of the statistics I will tell in my next video. Thank you very much.